Hello, this is Flurry Moon. Welcome back to my channel. Halloween is right around the corner, so I thought, what's spookier than the urban legends you were told about your favorite games as a kid? We will be starting from not creepy at all to downright terrifying, so check out the timestamps below if you are looking for a specific game or rumor. Let's just get right into this. Club Penguin tipping the iceberg. Honestly, I'm basically scripting this video starting from least creepy to terrifying because I just really want to talk about Club Penguin and tipping the iceberg. This is also a great way to show you guys how intense fans get about a piece of lore that they created, yet desperately tried to manifest into existence. And I was definitely one of these people, by the way. Club Penguin was released in October of 2005, and I feel like this was the prime time of urban legends in video games. YouTube would be coming out that same year, just 2 months later, making rumors and myths way easier to spread, and the whole don't believe everything you see on the internet thing wasn't drilled into our child minds yet, so there was a lot to learn. Not only this, but kids lie. All the time. You would go into your first grade class and some kid would be bragging about getting a rainbow puffle, except this was 2008 when rainbow puffles didn't exist, and you're left wondering if you're just playing the game wrong? But the biggest Club Penguin myth surrounded the Iceberg. The Iceberg location was added in 2006, and you could only access it using the map or the Elite Penguin Force phone. Not being able to accidentally waddle into this location naturally made it kind of mysterious, and thus the rumors began. The biggest one being, you can tip the iceberg, and under it included tons of cool prizes and coins for your penguin. Thousands of videos flooded YouTube over the years, the most notorious and pretty much earliest sighting of the rumor being the video by Nox Fan uploaded on December 17th, 2006. It starts with that text over plain background that all YouTube videos had in the late 2000s, claiming he had proof he had tipped the iceberg. Let's take a look at that proof. Oh. Okay, it's just a fake pop-up message of On Arctic announcing, you have tipped the iceberg. Click OK to get your 5,000 coins. Typos and all, this 9-second video has accumulated 1.6 million views over the years, and it led many fans at the time into believing that they can also tip the iceberg. Another video uploaded in 2007 gained a good amount of traction too, actually showing a visual of the tipped iceberg and the prizes you could supposedly get, like a dark pink puffle and a rainbow Viking hat. The rumor then snowballed into having rules, like you have a better chance of tipping the iceberg if you use the jackhammer while wearing the hard hat, and you bet every single time I went to the iceberg, I would see these bitches hard at work like their igloo rent was due. The puffles needed food on the table. Other players spread rumors like tipping the iceberg would actually get you banned forever. This myth would go unacknowledged by the Club Penguin developers for a decade, with the exception of little Easter eggs here and there, basically teasing fans, and it did seem like it was never going to actually happen. That was until 2017. Club Penguin was announced to be shutting down on March 30th, 2017, so in January of that same year, the Waddle On party had begun. This was the final event of Club Penguin, and tipping the iceberg had finally been made possible in the game for the first time ever. In order to achieve this, there needed to be at least 5 blue penguins walking blue puffles and jackhammering on the iceberg. When the iceberg was tipped, a dance floor was revealed with a bin of free blue iceberg tipper hats. The tipping also revealed a plaque with a quote that read, "Together we can build an island, create a community, change the world, and even tip an iceberg. Waddle on." I'm gonna cry. This is the only myth we will be talking about today that actually ended up being true, I guess. And I just miss Club Penguin so much, so I just needed any excuse to talk about it. Moving on. Super Mario Galaxy DS. This is the last entry before we start to get a little creepy, but I just thought this was really interesting. Super Mario Galaxy is a game released on the Wii in 2007. What a time to be alive. I would argue the more beloved platform to play Nintendo games on would be the DS though, as it introduced gaming on the go, making for a much more convenient way of experiencing your favorite games. So when fans found a YouTube video announcing Super Mario Galaxy on the Nintendo DS, the excitement began. Uploaded on December of 2007, the video shows a pretty spot-on portrayal of what this game would look like on the DS. The dual screens were included, and even an animated stylus was shown controlling Mario. Although filmed on a potato, this was 2007, so most YouTube videos looked something like this, and I can see why so many fans thought this was legit at the time. Turns out the footage belonged to Pablo Belmont, who is famous for his Nintendo hoaxes. Supposedly, this video was actually for his final project for his college design studies studies class, the goal to make a viral video, and he did just that. The hoax was everywhere online, and this man got a B+. Maybe that's his karma for tricking little children. Either way, he did a pretty great job on this, and it fooled a lot of people. This is probably the only myth in this video that was deliberately trying to trick people, so I thought it was interesting to add. Animal Crossing, Brutus the Bulldog. Now we will be getting a little spookier as the Club Penguin iceberg tipping is 0% scary. Honestly, anything mysterious like that is automatically like 20% scary for me, but anyway. Animal Crossing on GameCube was released in 2001, seeing a lot of success. A cute, cozy game where you catch fish and bugs while living in a town filled with little animals. What's there not to like? We know that Animal Crossing has so much more to it than meets the eye. The creepy and odd Easter eggs are what makes the game special. But just like every other game, this franchise cannot escape from rumors and myths. Brutus was allegedly a dark purple bulldog with red eyes and a black t-shirt with a capital B on it. He was claimed to move into your town at night and be out by the morning while wreaking havoc like cutting down trees, kidnapping villagers, and speaking in binary code. Other rumors stated your game would crash if you entered his house, and even trying to speak with him would wipe out your entire save file, while Brutus just stands there laughing. This is such a classic playground rumor, and the traction it gained was actually pretty impressive, not even a fake screenshot of him existing. Actually, there was supposedly one image of him, but it seems to literally be wiped from existence, and it was widely speculated to be fake anyway. Myths like this were easier to believe in at the time, with even Google being fairly new and the game itself only being out for a short while. Many players have actually modded Brutus into their Animal Crossing New Horizons games, typically editing an existing dog like Bones into a purple bulldog, which I actually think is pretty cool. The Tails Doll Curse. Sonic R is one of my favorite terrible games I've ever played. My boyfriend introduced it to me when we first met, and after that, I knew he was the one. The weirdest one. Sonic R, released in 1997 for the Sega Saturn, is a racing game with incredibly difficult controls and interesting music that actually does grow on you and will be stuck in your head for the rest of your life, I promise. There are also only 5 tracks, and it's kind of just a hot mess. Your starter characters are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Dr. Robotnik, and Amy, who is the only character who drives a car for some reason. Then the unlockable players include Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, Eggman Robo, Super Sonic, and our king, Tails Doll. Tails Doll is said to be a stuffed version of Tails created by Dr. Eggman for some reason. I don't know, you guys. I guess his look is a little unsettling. Like, it looks like he's seen some shit, okay? So it's not really a surprise that players took this and ran with it. I think he's pretty cute, but whatever. Because of this, the Tails Doll Curse was born. This rumor dates all the way back to 2005, supposedly starting as a joke between commenters in the Mobius forum, which is dedicated to all things Sonic related. This urban legend, made up for laughs, eventually snowballed into the story we know today, and it goes something like this. The first way to initiate the curse would be to complete the game 100%, unlocking every single character. However, if you were playing the GameCube version, it's not that easy. It was said that Shigeru Miyamoto placed a seal on this version of the game, blocking players from the curse. This is hilarious, by the way, that the thought that this man set time aside to place a seal on this game. But fear not, there is a way around Miyamoto's seal, because of course there is. In Sonic R, you have your traditional start to finish race, and then you have tag mode. Tag mode is basically like a game of tag on the regular courses, so you bump into other players until you are the last one standing. To supposedly break the seal, blocking the curse, you had to play as Tails Doll in tag mode and tag everyone, including Super Sonic. Side note, this is like almost virtually impossible because Super Sonic is the fastest character in the game to the point that it's basically cheating to play as him, while Tails Doll is one of the slowest. After tagging all the players, Tails Doll would then emerge from your screen. The second way to summon Tails Doll is basically using the Bloody Mary method, but with a twist. Here's a piece of a forum post that I thought was pretty funny. Wait until exactly 11 p.m. Go into a dark bathroom with a mirror, then lock and close the door and block the windows. Play or sing one of these songs backwards. Can You Feel the Sunshine, Can You Feel the Sunshine Acid Remix, or Livin' in the City. If you're playing the song, try to sing along as it makes this more effective. The fact that you can sing the remix too is what gets me. Like, Tails doll will be like, close enough. It is sometimes unclear exactly what Tails doll will do when he emerges. Some sources claiming he will just kill you point blank, while others state he offers you a deal, be his servant or die. I have no idea what being his servant entails. Get it? And I do not wish to know. Obviously, any sane adult can detect this bullshit story from a mile away, but when you're a kid, stories like this seem quite possible. I probably would have believed this, and honestly, after scripting this, I am a little afraid of looking in the mirror now. What if I accidentally sing Can You Feel the Sunshine Acid Remix backwards? The Webkinz Killer. Going into this, I thought there was only one alleged Webkinz Killer, but the lore goes way deeper, so buckle up. We are returning back to online games for a second because the late 2000s was filled with them. Club Penguin, as mentioned earlier, Neopets, Movie Star Planet, Roblox, of course, Wizard 101, and one that I have literally never seen anyone else talk about, Wii World. Like, seriously, does anyone else remember this? Anyway, arguably one of the most popular of these online games was Webkinz. So iconic and such a smart idea, honestly. You bought the plushie in stores, then would go home, enter the code on the tag, and play as your pet online, decorating their house, playing mini games, and overall caring for your animals. One way to properly care for your Webkinz was to take them to Dr. Quack to get a checkup if your pet was sick. Dr. Quack was one of the popular rumored Webkinz killers. The story has many different versions, one being if you clicked on the eyesight poster 32 to 50 times, he would become angry and kill your pet. I vividly remember the fake picture of Dr. Quack holding a chainsaw with a maniac look on his face, with the Webkin on the table looking scared and injured, and that did it for me personally. The Webkinz Killer is more of an umbrella term for any character or object that could allegedly cause harm to your pet. It's vague. Think like Wendy Williams the Killer.
I've been aware of the killer since birth.
One urban legend described a black box that would appear in your Webkinz rooms. You had to exit the room as quickly as possible or a mysterious animal would jump out and start stabbing your pet. Oh my god. Another rumor was that one of the Webkinz hosts, basically the NPCs of the game, could send you a note with a bomb in it that would destroy the house of those who opened it, killing their Webkinz that way. Another myth actually floated around that Neopets, a rival online game, were the ones killing the Webkinz. Now, because this is a kids game, parents started to get involved and the rumors spread further. I found this forum post uploaded in February of 2008 that really shows where everyone was at during this time. Webkinz being killed by Neopets virus wanted to let everyone know about a virus that is going around on Webkinz. It will show up as a black box, and when the child clicks the box, they are kicked out of their Webkinz room. A Neopet comes out of the box and kills all of the Webkinz in the room with a knife, ending your child's prescription and everything. Also, you can hear your Webkinz dying. It makes a slashing sound for the knife, and your Webkinz scream in pain. Webkinz is trying to trace the virus, but so far, no such luck. My son had all of his pets killed by this virus, and it happened to a few other kids that he knows. I am so angry. I contacted Webkinz, but they say there is nothing that can do and for me to go out and buy another damn toy. My son cried for hours. All of the kids are very upset. Just wanted to give all of the moms a heads up. I know it sounds crazy and is kind of funny, but it is true. Hopefully this heads up stops another kid to not lose all of their pets. At first, I was inclined to believe this was a completely fake post, probably not even from a parent, and it was just a troll trying to scare people. But the more I thought about it, this could easily be a naive mom with a little shit kid literally just lying. Or maybe this kid was so scared of the Webkinz Killer that he literally hallucinated this out of fear and worry for his Webkinz, which honestly is even funnier. 2008 was around the time adults really started cracking down on their children's internet use, sometimes being overprotective, always believing there was some old man on the other end trying to kidnap their child. And this did happen, don't get me wrong, but this was also around the time that ABC News literally did a story warning parents about Animal Crossing city folk literally thinking Tortimer was a real person online talking to their children.
For example, this character could be the man in California police are warning about tonight.
I cannot come up with any legitimate reason that an adult would be playing that particular game.
Tortimer is literally an NPC. He has the same dialogue in every single game. They literally did zero research. Anyway, another version of the Webkinz Killer was in the form of a black penguin with red eyes that would give your computer a virus. This is another rumor that scared parents because there was no real way to know if this was true. Mix that with the unfamiliarity of the internet, parents were angry that their unsuspecting child could run into something like this while they're trying to play a game supposedly safe for kids. Gans, the company that owns Webkinz, was forced to speak out, stating that nothing in the online game can cause harm to your children's pets, and all of the rumors are false. Nevertheless, the Webkinz Killer urban legend goes down in history as one of the most popular online game myths. Test screen Sonic. For this entry, we are taking it back to 1993 with Sonic CD. This moment is actually in the game, but fans took it differently than how it was intended. Let me explain. Basically, this game included a sound test mode, where you could listen to all the tracks in the game. In this mode, if you input the numbers 46, 12, and 25, you could access an odd and unsettling screen. The image showed a series of Sonics lined up with creepy, realistic faces and featured scary music with distorted laughter. The Japanese message over the image roughly translates to "Fun is infinite with Sega Enterprises." Majin. Majin, translated from Japanese, is demon or devil, so many players were left terrified by the screen, especially as kids. Now, this was, again, actually in the game. It is not a rumor or a myth. However, I put it in this video because not everything is as it seems. First, the human face on Sonic. This is not simply a scary portrayal of Sonic, but a comical photo of Masato Nishimura, sorry, I do not know how to say his name, the landscape designer of Sonic CD. Majin, once thought to be referencing the devil, was actually just Nishimura's childhood nickname. But the music. Why was the music so terrifying? Well, this was actually the boss music from the game. In the Japanese version, the boss music isn't at all scary, but the US boss music is definitely on the spookier side. So it ended up being a lot scarier in the US version than it was intended. So that's it. It was actually supposed to be a funny Easter egg, but ended up scaring the shit out of children. Many players believed this to be a creepy anti-piracy screen, but this was a myth. It was kind of just an honest misunderstanding. What do you guys think? I don't care what anyone says. This is terrifying. Hanging Luigi. Luigi's Mansion, released in 2001 on GameCube, offers an experience that is intended to be a little spooky. After all, it's about a haunted mansion. But what we will be discussing today is actually a glitch that was never intended to be in the game. The game follows Luigi as he explores the mansion in order to save Mario while battling ghosts along the way. Although spooky, the game is pretty lighthearted and not at all graphic. It's a Mario game after all. But players began to notice something odd in the background of the gameplay. During some parts of the game, such as when Luigi answers a call in the telephone room, lightning strikes and a strange shadow can be spotted on the wall behind him, which players quickly identified as Luigi hanging from the ceiling. I do have to say, the timing of the shadow appearing after the lightning is some creepy shit. Obviously, this was simply a glitch, but it did trick a lot of players into thinking maybe Luigi did commit suicide and the events of Luigi's Mansion are occurring in the afterlife. Nintendo patched this out for the 3DS version of Luigi's Mansion, and I can't help but relate this to the hanging munchkin in the background of that scene from The Wizard of Oz that was actually replaced with a bird in the remastered version. The myth was that one of the actors playing a munchkin committed suicide, and you can see him hanging around the 45-minute mark. This was later confirmed to be a bird, but honestly, with all the fucked up shit we've heard from the filming of this movie in recent years, I wouldn't be surprised if this hoax was true. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. Moving on. Legend of Zelda: Ben Drowned. Ben Drowned is one of the most infamous creepypastas in gaming. Obviously, the horror story is fake, but many young players believed it at the time, even deleting their copies of Majora's Mask over the urban legend. So, who is Ben? How did he drown? And what the hell does any of this have to do with Legend of Zelda? Originally posted as the haunted car Partridge, written by Alexander Hall on 4chan, because of course it originated from 4chan. The story takes you through the narrator's experience with a second-hand copy of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64, haunted by the ghost of a boy named Ben. The Ben drowned rabbit hole goes deeper than you would think, with 5 chapters documenting the experience with Ben in the game itself seemingly communicating with the narrator in creepy and disturbing ways, like calling Link Ben even after deleting the Ben save file, and ultimately harassing the narrator so much that he starts to fall into a deep depression. The series includes 2 other arcs, the Moon Children arc and the Hubris arc. I'm not going to get into the full story because that has been done before and a lot better than I could, but I simply couldn't make a creepypasta and urban legend video without mentioning Ben Drowned, one of the most iconic of them all. Pokemon Lavender Town Syndrome. Pokemon is very well known for having eerie moments and lore scattered through the series. In my Creepy Moments in Cute Games video, we mentioned the Old Chateau, a haunted mansion in Diamond and Pearl that featured creepy music and ghosts. But another location in the games was so creepy, a horrifying rumor began to spread. Lavender Town originated in Pokemon Red and Blue, released in 1996. The location features the Pokemon Tower, which is a burial ground for deceased Pokemon. This is already a pretty spooky location and story without the creepypasta, but in the early 2000s, a rumor began to spread about the town and more specifically, the music. The myth claims that back in the 90s when the games first came out, the music containing high frequencies only heard by young teens would cause the children to act erratically, even committing suicide. It is actually likely the music caused headaches in players, but no or anything of the sort was ever caused by the Lavender Town music. In recent appearances of Lavender Town in the games, the music has been slightly changed a few times actually, but never because of supposed suicides. Although the story is completely false, it's not the most outlandish story about Pokemon, as this is a true story. An episode of the anime in 1997 actually sent over 600 children to the hospital after airing a scene with flashing lights that induced seizures. The episode was pulled off the air, only ever shown in Japan the one time, and the anime went on a 4-month hiatus. Of course, nobody died during this incident, fortunately, but I bring this up because it does make the Lavender Town music theory a bit more believable, but alas, it is simply a myth. Well, that's about it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you want to see me try the Tails doll curse. Unironically, I'm too afraid to do that, so no thank you. And of course, comment below if you'd like to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!